Hey everybody, welcome back to the weekly episode of Jake and I's Week 7 NFL picks. This week we got some pretty good matchups. The Packers are finally playing again. But up first, we're going to talk about Thursday Night Football. Tomorrow night, Jaguars at the Saints. Jacksonville comes into this game off a win last week, and New Orleans off a loss. Jake, go ahead with your pick.
I got Jacksonville on the road. Like I've said all year to you, I kind of like Jacksonville. I think you've said that a couple times to me. But who did they beat last week? Anyways,
I'll get it.
they
beat the Colts last week by 17.
Yeah, by 17. They just find ways to win, and they're a sleeper team. I think they're going to win the AFC South. Right,
I would hope.
That's the division they're in.
Pretty shitty division.
Pretty shitty division. It's going to either be them or the Tennessee Titans.
I think they suck too.
Yeah, the problem with that division is the offenses just aren't there for any one of those teams, right?
I would say, I think Jacksonville has a decent offense when they get going.
Yeah, but I mean, Houston, Tennessee. Who's the other one? Houston, Tennessee,
Jacksonville, and the Colts.
Yeah.
But the Colts are without their starting quarterback now for the rest of the year.
It's just, you just don't have to score a lot to beat these teams. I mean, I think Tennessee's a sound team, but they can't score. And that's why I like Jacksonville to come out of the South and to win this game.
Yeah, I wanted to pick Jacksonville in this game. I just feel like Thursday night's maybe going to be an odd game, something you don't expect. New Orleans is at home. Kamara's back, which he has been for the past couple of weeks. They get him involved. I'm going to take New Orleans in this game. I think they need it. I think they got a really good defense, and I think they can pull this one out. I think it'll be tight.
I think it's tight. I think it's going to be tight too. I don't know the spread. I'm sure it's only 2 or 3.
It's -1.
No, that's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah. Up next, we got the 2-3 Packers coming off of a bye, and one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league, the Broncos. I really wanted to pick Denver in this game, but I'm a homer, so I'm going to take Green Bay again.
At some point, Denver's got to figure it out, right? I mean, You've got Russell Wilson as your quarterback, Sean Payton as your head coach. At some point, they got to put 2 and 2 together, and something's going to click. I unfortunately think that's going to happen this week. I'm not saying they blow the Packers out, but I just think this is the week that Denver plays well and finds a way to win at home. I mean, if they don't, their season's over.
I think it already is, but it can only get worse, I guess.
Two 1-point spreads in a row, they're basically picking. I mean, it's basically a toss-up. I mean, both of these teams kind of remind you a little bit of alike. They just don't really have an identity.
They don't score. Well, the Broncos score a little bit better than the Packers, but
I don't know.
The Packers are getting Aaron Jones back this week, so I think that'll be a big help. I think if they lose this game, there's going to be some real questions about who the head coach will be next year. Yeah, and I think if they end up winning this game, they're somehow 3-3, and they can keep continuing to tread water. I think the teams there in the last 3 spots, the wild card, aren't anything scary.
Well,
so
2 and 4.
It's just a possibility.
2 and 4 sounds awful.
Yeah.
And 3-3 is a hell of a lot better than 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Because then you have to win 2 games to get to 500.
Mm-hmm.
At 3-3, you can lose again next week and be 3-4. And if you kind of teeter-totter with 500 the whole year, you'll have a chance.
Yeah. So I got Green Bay.
If they lose tomorrow,
Sunday.
Sunday, is the season over?
Yeah, I think it is.
For Green Bay.
Yeah. I don't think they can rebound. And they had a piss-poor schedule this year.
I thought their schedule started off fairly easy. I think it gets harder in the middle, right? Isn't that what we said earlier in the earlier videos?
The first 7 weeks, I think they played a lot of bad teams. I mean, they played the Lions. Other than the Lions, I think they could have beaten every team they played.
Yeah, so they needed to take advantage of their early on schedule because...
And they haven't.
No, they have not. And that's because they can't put points on the board.
Yeah. Up next, we got the Browns at the Colts. Browns coming off a big win last week against the Niners
so
with the
far,
backup.
Is it the biggest win of the season?
Biggest win of the season?
For any team.
I don't know. I think San Francisco
win.
dominating Dallas was a pretty impressive win on Sunday night.
But neither one of those teams were playing with a backup quarterback, right? Like, No, I mean, I think it was like 13 was the spread. Like
It was a
nobody,
lot, yeah.
nobody had nobody had Cleveland winning, and they did.
Yeah, it was a pretty shocking win. That's for sure.
I think it's so far to this point, it's the biggest upset of the season.
I think the only thing that would have topped it would have been if the Giants would have pulled it off on Sunday.
Now that would have topped it because they were on the road, as to where Cleveland was at home. It's a big difference. So in this game,
and the Colts are without their starting quarterback.
Yeah, and what about, isn't their running back out too? I thought I seen
Taylor?
that.
No, I think he'll be back.
Is that the quarterback that
Richardson?
Okay, I got a text message that said, I don't know how, I must have misread it, but I thought it was the running back. So the quarterback's out. What surgery again?
I think it's something with the shoulder.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the Browns here. I'd take the 2.5 too.
It's probably going to be a close game. I mean, it's still right now it's 2.5, right? So I'm just telling you, Vegas knows. So
yeah, the Browns, Jim Schwartz. I mean, they got a really good defense this year. Garrett's a stud. So you got the Browns too?
Yeah.
Bills, Pats.
We have really fucked up from going in order because I am all over the place. Bills, Pats.
Yeah, sorry, I did this at work today. Bills, Pats. Since I watched Buffalo's performance last week, I'm not going to take the 8.5, but I am going to take the Bills to win against a bad.
Let's be honest. Does Buffalo impress you at all this year? Besides their game versus Miami, they have looked awful.
I think they play down to their competition.
I think that you know what? I think Buffalo just matches up well with Miami. There's certain teams and divisions that play well versus each other every fucking year, and Buffalo always has Miami's number. I mean, Josh Allen turns into the greatest quarterback in the history of the league when he plays Miami. Our defense has no idea how to stop him. But then you watch him play the New York absolute dog shit Giants, and they basically are losing the entire game. Yeah. Buffalo annoys me because you watch them play and it's like, okay, and then they play the Dolphins and they're the best team in the league.
So are you taking New England?
No.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, New England's awful. New England might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, they probably are.
You think
Belichick's going to retire?
He's either going to retire or they're going to make him step down as general manager.
I don't think he's a head coach next year for the Patriots.
I think he's the head coach. I don't think he's a general. He wants Shula's record. Okay?
You don't always get what you want.
Well, when you're Bill Belichick and you've won 6 rings and you've been coaching for 30 years, you're probably going to get one more year.
Yeah, but I think he got one more year even after last year.
But I think what they do is they ask him, general manager, head coach, choose. Because you're not just going to fire Bill. You're going to probably talk to him and say, hey, we're going to ask you to step down. They're not just going to come out and fire him because I don't know. This is the NFL. Maybe they will.
I mean, I don't know. If you ask a guy to step down, it's basically saying, hey, we don't want you no more. So isn't that basically firing him? Because what's he going to step down to?
Essentially, no, he's just going to step down as coach.
Yeah, so
basically. It's just, but anyways, I don't, I think he's still the coach next year. I don't think he's a general manager. But with that being said, they're bad. And I don't know how they become good because I don't think Mac Jones is that good.
No. Dave Portnoy thinks he can win him a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, Dave Portnoy thinks a lot of things about Boston sports. And
I like Dave, though.
I do too. I love Barstool, but I mean, he's got to get over New England. I mean, that's all he knows is New England being good, right? Since he was probably
20
in his late teens or early 20s to now. That's all he knows. So he doesn't know bad football. Well, maybe he does from when he was really younger before Brady, but the Patriots are bad, and you could argue that they're the worst team in the league.
Yeah, you could. They don't score at all.
But I'm just telling you, watch out. This is the divisional game. You okay?
No, I don't. It went down the wrong pipe, dude. The water.
This is a divisional game. Bill Belichick knows the Bills. The Patriots and Dolphins game was somewhat close, and the Dolphins, kind of just were hover and went. Like you never really felt like they were losing that game. It was Sunday Night Football, I think, a couple weeks ago. but it wasn't like a blowout. I just don't see this game being a blowout. I think New England has got, if they have any hope, they have to win. And they just might, but I'm not picking them. I'm just saying this, this could be the one.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills. I think they win, and I think the Patriots probably maybe get embarrassed again.
And I bet you they do, but
up next we got the Commanders at the Giants. And the Commanders, I mean, they had that really bad game against the Bears where they gave up 40 and lost by 20, but then there's games where they look pretty competent. So the Giants
suck.
Yeah, they suck.
They're fucking
Their
terrible.
head coach doesn't like their starting quarterback. Can't blame him. He'll probably play this week. Barkley's still there, back, but I'm going to take the Commanders. I like the way Howell's playing, and the offense does some good things. I'm going to take them.
I'm going to take the Commanders. I don't know much about them because, the only game I watched was versus the Bears, and they look like absolute dog shit. And after watching the Giants have a good defense, all right? I understand the week 1, 40-0 fucking awful showcase, versus Dallas, but, I mean, their defense held Josh Allen. What was the final score? Do you remember the final score?
14 points, 14-9. I mean, they had the ball on the 1-yard line multiple times. And
if they would have kicked the field goal at halftime, they would have kicked the fucking field goal at halftime. A field goal would have won the game.
Yeah, you're right. That's why you got to take the. Well, they could have. They had an opportunity to get some points there, and instead of calling a pass play, they call a run play, and it just didn't work out. It was kind of dumb.
But you can't do that.
No, you can't. That was in the quarterback audible to a run play with no timeouts.
With 13 seconds, how much?
I think he snapped it when there was about 11 or 10 seconds left. Yeah.
And you don't think that Buffalo's going to lay on the field just to get it to halftime? They did what they should have done.
Yeah.
Now, if I was the official, I would have thrown a flag for delay a game on the defense. And that could have very well happened, but it didn't.
I think even if they would have thrown that penalty, I don't think they still would have had enough time to get back up to the line. Because it was within the one, everybody was on the ground.
Play stopped. They would have let both teams get back to the line, and the play would have resumed on his whistle. So the moment he blew that whistle, they could have spiked it. Now, the only way it wouldn't have worked is if there was 1 second left. I'm not sure how much time they would have put on the clock. But
yeah, I just don't think they would have even gotten
the
line.
But you do know a game or a half can't end on a penalty, right? There's an untimed down.
Yeah, I know.
So that untimed down, I don't know if they allow. I've never seen that.
You've seen an untimed down.
I know, sure. But for points, would they have let them come out? Like, could their play been the field goal? You know what I mean?
I don't know why it couldn't have been.
Well, then
that's a play.
Then it definitely could have worked if they called that flag, but they didn't.
Yeah. We both got Washington in that game. Up next, you have the Lions at Ravens. This probably going to be one of the best games of the week next to Philly and Miami.
This could be game of the week.
Yeah, and it's a noon game.
Yeah.
Two really good teams. The Ravens, for some reason, they just love to have Justin Tucker kick field goals. They don't really like score touchdowns. Yeah. I think the Lions, if I did a power ranking based on last week, they'd be the number 1 team in the league, just based on a power ranking from just last week. I'm going to take Detroit in this one. I love what they're doing there. They're a really well-rounded team, a well-coached team. They hit you from all sides of the ball. I got them winning this game.
I got Baltimore.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I just think Baltimore is a sneaky team, right? I wouldn't want to have to go up against Lamar Jackson because he can beat you both ways. And I hate playing quarterbacks like that. I've told you that before. And Baltimore's at home. Justin Tucker's the best kicker in the league. All they got to do is get to midfield. Almost. I think they win.
Yeah.
I got Baltimore.
I think, to Jake's point, I think the difference in this game, which is I think is going to benefit
Don't get me
Detroit.
wrong. The Lions are great, and they're a top 5 team in the league. It would not shock me at all if Detroit won this game. I just think Baltimore is a good football team. I don't know. Baltimore, you have to pull it out of them. Okay? Yeah, I don't know why it is. I don't know what it is with that team under Harbaugh. They're a good sound football team, but you have to pull it out of them.
Yeah, I think the difference in this game is going to be the fact that Detroit. Well, I think Detroit's going to be able to get it done better in the red zone than I've seen from Baltimore because they just have not got it done in the red zone. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor in the game.
Yeah.
Raiders, Bears, no Justin Fields. I got the Raiders -3.
All right. I'm sorry to disappoint my fellow Chicago nation, but I'm off the Bears train. I was on it for about 4 or 5 weeks. I started to get off of it at last week, which I think I picked them. Did I not?
You might have picked them.
And I know Justin Fields is out. Even if Justin Fields was in, I just don't know what it is with the Bears. I don't know why they're this bad. I get this week they don't have
Starts
Fields
at the top,
but
they're just poorly ran.
I'm taking the Raiders, and I would probably hammer the spread. I mean, the Raiders are gonna get, what's their record? Do you know?
I think they're 500.
I mean, they're gonna get over 500 because
they played the Packers, the Patriots, now the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, take advantage of your schedule.
Yeah.
And if
they're doing it,
for some reason, if the Raiders do not win this game, I mean,
they should win this game.
Heads got to roll because the Bears are bad. I mean, they're another team that between the Bears, the Patriots, and the Giants, Broncos, there's 4 of your worst teams in the league.
Yeah. So they need to get Devontae more involved. Las Vegas does. I think if they do that, they'll be able to pull this one out.
I don't even know how the Bears win this. I don't know how they win this game with that backup.
I don't even know the backup's name.
Maybe is it start with a B, end with a B? Badgett or Tyson or
I think it is something Badgett or something like that.
So
Badgett or yeah.
I mean, maybe if the defense creates a couple turnovers.
But Jimmy G will probably throw one pick.
So, I mean, if they get a pick 6 and maybe another fumble recovery, I don't know how they win this game. I
don't think they're going to have – they're not going to move the ball that well against the Raiders.
Normally I can tell you why a team can win, but I just don't see how the Bears win this game.
Yeah.
I don't see how the Bears win 3 or 4 games.
I don't really see the Bears scoring more than 14 points in this game. I don't know if they'll score 14 points.
Like, they don't have a Barkley like the Giants do. So, like, here, hand it off 50 times a game. Maybe they're asked to do that because of the backup.
Mm.
Who knows? This could be ugly.
Probably will be. Up next, we got the Falcons at Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks -2.5. They're coming off a tough loss against the Lions, who are a better team. They had their opportunities. A couple guys wide open. Baker's pass got batted down at the line. They got a good defense, the Bucks do, and I think overall they're a more veteran team than Atlanta is. I don't like Atlanta's quarterback, Ritter. You know how I feel about Baker. I'm going to take the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa. They definitely need this win to stay in. That was weird. I feel like we both.
Oh, sorry, that was a text message that popped up there.
No, I feel like we got the same one at the same time. I got Tampa. I think they're better. I think they're very. They can hit you deep. They can score at any part of the field because of
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
So they've got the players. Baker just takes care of the ball, and I think they probably win. I would probably take them to cover.
I would take 2.5.
I think Tampa's not a bad football team. I just think they played a really good football team.
I think they could win the division based on what division they're in. But I could also see them making a wild card spot.
Oh, yeah. I think Tampa's getting in the playoffs just based on how bad the NFL is this year.
Yeah.
And I don't mean bad. What I meant by that is
you have a couple juggernauts.
There's 5 teams, and then there's everybody else. And when I mean everybody else, I don't think the middle teams can beat the good teams like I did in years past. And I'm fortunate that I think the Dolphins are in that.
Well, I mean, the middle team did beat San Francisco last week, but
it's true.
Up next, we got the Steelers at the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take -3 here. The Rams have a lot of good weapons on the outside, wide receiver-wise. They are going to be missing a couple of their starting running backs, which hurts my fantasy team, Kyron Williams being out. The Pittsburgh really doesn't move the ball that well. They got a good defense. They got a good defense, so I could see them forcing turnovers in this game because Matt Stafford has thrown a lot of interceptions in his career. But LA's at home. There will be a hell of a lot of Steelers fans there.
There'll be a lot of
it's a tourist destination. But I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm also going to take the Rams. Like he said, Pittsburgh struggles to score the ball. But if they create turnovers, they'll stay in the game. Which I do think they stay in the game. I just think the Rams they're kind of a sneaky team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
They just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
They're well coached. Yeah, they have players that have been there.
Yeah.
They don't really care about people's fans coming in there. It's happened since they got there, so they get it. I don't think that's gonna bother them. I got the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams as well. Cardinals, Seahawks, the battle of the birds. I'm going to take the Seahawks here. I don't think I'd take the -8, but when I look at the Seahawks, I think they're a much better team from the coach to the running back to the current quarterback based on Kyler being out. The different weapons on the outside for wide receivers. The defense plays pretty well. I just think everything looks in the Seahawks' favor here, and they're at home, so I got the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got Seattle as well. You know how I feel about Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Good football team. Both sides of the ball. I think they're very well coached. I think Pete Carroll's the top 5 coach in the league. I really like him. I've always thought Seattle's always been a sound team.
Mm-hmm.
For how long? Since we were junior high school.
Probably since
they've always been a sound football team that can win any given week.
Since Wilson came into
and
the league.
I understand any team can win on any given NFL Sunday. I've heard that since I was 4. But it's truer for teams who have just shown this consistency over years, and that Seattle's one of those consistent organizations that has just run well because they're consistent. They don't continue to make changes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. They go at it again next year, and I think I wish that's how, Miami. I hope Miami sticks with Mike McDaniel for the next 15 years. You keep changing every fucking year, every 2 years, get you nowhere.
I think it's really important to have stability.
And that's what Seattle is.
And even like a team like Pittsburgh, for example, or New England all those years, you got to have some sort of stability to be good. You can't really do the 1 year.
Those are 3 teams that absolutely fit that category.
I think for a while the Packers are pretty stable too.
Besides from this year, they're absolutely another team that's in that category. Chiefs in that category.
The Niners have had Shanahan for plenty of years.
I even would go as far as to say that I think the Vikings have been like that. I feel like was it Zimmer?
My bad. They had Zimmer.
So
yeah,
just there's about 10.
It's Stefanski, but no, it's just sorry, O'Connell.
Yeah, those are the teams that are just it seems like every year it's like, damn, they're pretty good again.
Yeah.
But we both got Seattle.
Yeah. Up next, you got the Chargers, Chiefs, which I think is going to be another really good game.
Let me tell you why this game scares me.
I wanted to pick the Chargers. Go ahead.
I think the Chargers have one of the best offenses in the league. And there are times that the Chiefs lay an egg, and they win because they're the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs, but this, if we should do this in the future, like upset pick of the week, this would be my upset pick of the week.
Well, if you want to start doing it now, go ahead and make an upset pick, and I'll go change one of mine.
Okay, but are we gonna do it where we can still pick who we think is gonna win, and then also
I think you got to ride with it. If you're picking on a March Madness bracket and you pick a 15 seed, you got to ride with it.
So you're gonna change one?
I'll change one.
All right. So from now on, we'll do one upset pick of the week. I'm switching, and I'm taking the Chargers.
I like that pick a lot
because, like I said, they have one of the best offenses in the league. They have a top 10 quarterback in the league. They have a top 5 running back in the league. They have a top 5 wide receiver in the league. They're dangerous, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, their defense isn't that good, so they might have to score with Kansas City, which they can do. But I have seen Kansas City this year lay eggs and win because they have Mahomes. And this is not a team that you can lay an egg versus, because you will look up and it's 21-3.
It's a division rival.
And it's halftime.
Yeah.
Chargers scare me to death.
I would take the over in that game, depending on what it is.
I just
Keenan Allen's playing out of his mind lately.
And I tell you what, Herbert missed a lot of throws last week.
Well, they probably won. Yeah.
So that's my upset pick of the week. You can say yours.
Well, I'm gonna have to think about it for a minute.
All right.
But I'm gonna take Kansas City in that game. They're at home. I'm sure they'll show Taylor Swift numerous times throughout the game. As everybody knows, I'm getting sick and tired of it, as I'm sure a lot of other people are. But yeah, they're at home.
Are you a Swiftie?
No, I don't have anything against Taylor Swift.
I
just
either.
don't like how much they show her during the game.
To be honest, have about 12 beers and listen to Taylor Swift song. I guarantee you sing along.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But now that she's thrown in our face week in and week out, pretty much daily.
Yeah.
Any NFL show,
any news outlet.
But that's also on fault of the stations that you're watching. Like, don't talk about it. Then talk about the Chiefs minus her.
Yeah.
Like, they bring it up because, well, number one, it's going to get more viewers, right, from the Swifties.
Yep, it already has.
So
and more followers for the league.
I get it.
Yeah.
So it's a money grab.
Yeah, I get why they're doing it.
I mean, hell, there's going to be Swifties going to Chiefs games now.
Yeah.
Just because
spelling Kelsey wrong on the back of their jerseys.
Because she might be there, they're going to be fucking going to Chiefs games now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm going to take Kansas City. They're at home. I think they've gotten a lot of bailout calls. Them being at home, I could see that happening again this year. Or not this year, but this game. So I'm going to take Kansas City. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins, Eagles.
Couldn't be game of the week.
I guess if I look at it right now, Jake, as far as my upset goes, since the Eagles are favorited, it's in Philly.
It is an upset.
I wouldn't say that it's a huge. It might, maybe to some it is, but I'm going to take Miami. That'll be my upset of the week this week, Jake.
I'm taking the Dolphins regardless. I think Philly showed you their flaws last week. I think the Dolphins, and you know this, I don't really brag. I don't come on here and I'm not a homer. Like I've picked against them. Like I think I took Buffalo. Obviously didn't pick against them. I might have even
you went back and picked Miami.
I might have taken the Chargers.
I don't know. You might have. I don't remember.
But anyways, I don't sit here and tell you that the Dolphins are the best team in the league. I think they're one of the best teams in the league. But I think this week, look, we've been waiting for a signature win in Miami for years. And there's going to be more signature wins this year. I mean, chances. You got Kansas City.
I think the Chargers are a really good win.
I do too. I don't know why people are putting that win off. I mean, that's so annoying.
Who was saying anything about that?
Everybody says the Dolphins don't have a good win this year. Zero. All they've played is garbage teams. Look, Stephen A., Mad Dog Russo, who I fucking can't. I despise that asshole.
Him or Skip Bayless, who's worse?
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna say Mad Dog Russo because I like Skip Bayless because he likes Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But I
also like that Skip likes OU.
There you go. But this is a signature game. The Dolphins have another chance. Like I said, Kansas City. They play at Baltimore. They play Dallas and Miami.
Play Buffalo again.
They play Buffalo and Miami. So they're going to have some chances at signature wins. But tomorrow on the road, or tomorroh, why the fuck do I keep doing that? Sunday night on the road.
Everybody's
in Philadelphia.
watching.
The whole entire world's watching. Like, this is like show up and win a goddamn football game. Find a way. I feel like these teams are kind of evenly matched. I
think Miami has it figured out now a lot better than Philadelphia does as far as on offense.
Yeah, I do too. But the Dolphins defense is very, very fucking feeble.
How's the run defense? Because Philly can run
it. The Dolphins defense is terrible all the way around in every category. And I don't mean they're awful.
They got a lot of big names, though.
They're not good. They're not great, right? So they're middle. So middle means they give you 4 or 5 yards every time. They try not to get hit deep, in which I really haven't seen, the Dolphins give up bombs like other teams give up the hill, which I know no one has a Tyreek Hill, but
I think he might get 2,000 yards this year.
Well, do you remember when everyone thought he was crazy for saying that?
Well, I think he's only 190 some yards away from it right now. It's week 7.
But this game, I'll go ahead and say it's the biggest game on the Dolphins schedule all year.
Well,
and the reason I say that is because you beat Buffalo last year, and you almost beat Buffalo in the playoffs. I get that the Week 17 game in Miami to end the season could have the division implications. Could have playoff implications on it.
Yeah,
seeding implications on it. That game could be bigger. But as far as showing the world, hey, we're fucking here.
Yeah,
we can win on the road. We can win in 50 degrees.
Yeah.
We can win away from Miami where it's 85 and it feels like 100 on the opposing sideline. I just think this game would mean more right now for the Dolphins than it would mean for Philadelphia, right? We know how good Philadelphia is. They've been to the Super Bowl.
A little bit of a letdown last week.
Huge.
By the JETS Jets, baby.
But they had the game. Did you watch? Or no?
I was coming home. I didn't see it.
They had the game won. There was a minute 40 left.
Wasn't it 14
and
12?
The Jets had no timeouts. Or did they have one? But they had nothing. They had no timeouts. Philadelphia decides to throw.
He threw a pick.
And it's a pick. And I'm like, if you run the ball, you waste 30 seconds, you punt, and you make the Jets have to go 65 yards for a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's one of the it's one of the worst coaching decisions this year in the NFL.
Is it okay? Well, this is college, terrible. But is it worse than Miami not taking the knee to win the game?
No, because
all they had to do was knee the game.
No,
and it was over.
That's worse. And
that's a fireable offense.
That's fireable offense or suspendable. Suspend him. Get him the fuck out of there. But what I mean is, Philadelphia went to win the game, right? They didn't want to give the Jets they did not want to give the Jets back the ball with any time left, so they decided to throw. Well, what they didn't know is it was like 3rd and long. It wasn't 3rd and short. So, and it was a horrible ball. I mean, it was one of those where the receiver's right here, here's the quarterback, and here's the cornerback. It was one of those where he reads the route, right, and takes it all the way almost.
Mm.
It wasn't one of those over the middle or tipped or deflected. It was just.
Is it a comeback route?
No, it was just he ran like a 10 and stopped, and then here come the cornerback.
So a curl route.
So it wasn't. It was just straight. It wasn't a this. Whatever it was.
Just a curl.
Whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, if he was in motion, I'm saying that wide receiver was lined up right here with the quarterback. I think. I don't remember. I might be wrong, but whatever it was, the way he thrown the ball, I've been right all this long. He just threw it, and here goes the fucking Jets down the sideline. It's almost like, how can you make that mistake as a coach? Run the ball, punt it, and they're punting from midfield.
Yeah, so they would have been.
So they're going to be 15. within the 20. So now we've got to go 65 yards, right, in a minute to get a field goal.
Yeah. I think a lot of times NFL coaches try to think, oh, we're gonna call a pass play here and we're gonna outsmart them. Sometimes I think you just got to do what you got to do, and that means running the ball or calling something that might be boring.
That was terrible.
In this game, the reason that I'm going to take Miami is I like McDaniel a lot. I like the way the offense is rolling right now. Tyreek Hill is virtually unguardable. Jalen Waddle is amazing, and he hasn't even really been that involved this year.
He did get involved last week a lot more.
But they still got it. Don't matter who comes out of the backfield as far as running the ball. The guy's going to be running like 23, 24 mile an hour.
Had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and they're just going to dominate. But like the motion that Miami does before the play, they'll have Tyreek Hill line up like everywhere on the fucking field. He's all over the place. Nobody on defense is able to keep up with him as he's running back and forth.
And then when he's
like
doing
an Energizer bunny.
Then when he's doing that, Tua just throws somebody else, or they'll run it, or they'll throw to the running back.
Yeah.
So you have no idea. And then if you don't guard Tyreek, he throws to Tyreek. Yeah. They're hard to defend.
This is early on. It's week 7, I know, but I tell you what, and you probably will agree with me on this. I'm taking the Dolphins this game, but I think this is the year where the Dolphins get to the Super Bowl. And I'm saying in week 7, I'm not hexing you or nothing, Jake. That's my pick coming out of the AFC. I'm making it now, and I'm sticking with it the whole year. And if somebody wants to come back and burn me, go ahead. But I think this is Miami's year to make the Super Bowl.
It's not a bad pick. If the Super Bowl runs through Miami for the AFC, I think there's a path. Okay, I think they play really well at home. If the Dolphins are the 2 seed and have to go to Arrowhead, trouble.
I think you guys have a better offense than the Chiefs.
I do, but it's Arrowhead and it's the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, they seem to get a lot of calls.
If we've got to go to Buffalo, say we get a wild card and we got to go to Buffalo, well, we fucking know the Dolphins can't win in Buffalo. I bet my fucking house on Buffalo.
We got to get to the Monday night game. We'll talk about that some other time. 49ers, Vikings. 49ers come off that very tough loss last week. Vikings, they won. They beat the Bears. Not really too great of a game. I don't know if you tuned into that one, but I did. I'm going to take the 49ers to bounce back this week.
Yeah, me too.
I think they're not going to have a lot of trouble with this game.
I think you're wrong on that, but I think
don't
they
think
win
they're
the
gonna have
game.
very much trouble.
I don't think the Vikings are a team that is. I mean, I don't think.
I think they're 2-4. I mean,
yeah, but I don't think they're a team where you're like, oh boy, we're playing the Vikings. Like I wouldn't want to play in Minnesota.
I agree with not wanting to play in
Especially
Minnesota.
after coming off a loss, and how banged up are the Niners? They're pretty fucking banged up, aren't they?
Yeah,
Weren't they without a lot of guys?
Yeah, I think even McCaffrey's hurt. I think Williams is hurt, but he came back in the game. But Minnesota doesn't have Jefferson. I feel like that's pretty crucial.
I think Minnesota's got enough to keep it close, and they're at home, and weird things have happened. In that place.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to take San Francisco.
Oh, I'm taking San Francisco. Don't get it mixed up. I just think it might be a pretty good Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
I mean,
and hopefully it is. It's better that way.
Oh,
I got a 4-day. I got a 4-day weekend, so I could stay up all night watching the games.
I got a 4-day weekend every week. No, I don't. Wait, yeah, I do.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's
Thursday.
What do you?
I gotta work, but
okay. Anyways, make sure to like, subscribe, leave some comments below. I'm gonna talk with Jake about it, but I think it wouldn't be a bad idea if I got out the old iPad or my phone and we streamed Jake and a couple of us watching the game. Not with the TV on in the background so we don't get taken down, but just watching the game.
Just like how we did the Illinois game.
Yeah, basically, just sitting on the couch, watching the game, talking about the game, watching you flip out when something goes on, just bullshitting back and forth during the game.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I think people will tune in.
I don't think this is the week for that.
Oh, I think this is a tremendous game. I think a lot of people will be YouTubing this.
It's just I think the stakes are too high.
I think that's exactly why we should do it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it. You guys will be sure to know if we do it. But everybody have a good one, and we might see you again Sunday.